So recently I made a video talking about how it's becoming increasingly difficult to make bridge content because there's a severe lack of community for bridge on YouTube. And earlier today, as of recording this, I saw this video that Speculative Potato made on this topic, and I'd suggest going to watch that video, which I'll link in the description, as that initializing the conversation in the larger 1.8 Minecraft community is why I'm making this video. This is especially an interesting topic for me because I got burnt out of Hypixel content about a year and a half ago now, but I'm still uploading 1.8 Minecraft content. So in the last few months, for what seems to be no reason at all, the YouTube community for 1.8 Minecraft, which has always been categorized as Hypixel content creators, or to an extent even Mindmen content creators, seem to be disappearing. A year or so ago, tons of Minecraft creators were like blowing up for Hypixel content, and now it just seems like all the big content creators in the community, with the exception of like just a few, are just not uploading. So there are a few things that are contributing to this, because of course it's not just happening out of nowhere. First of all, we can state the obvious: two new servers are rising incredibly fast in interest, which include Tubnet and MCCI. Since its release, Tubnet has gained a reputation of having the best anti-cheat ever, obviously. That is, if the best anti-cheat ever is about as good as Watchdog in like QHC or Sumo. So it's literally worse than Watchdog. Hypixel's anti-cheat. It's bad. For that reason, along with the lack of original new game modes, Tubnet isn't really going to be relevant to this conversation on why 1.8 Minecraft is dying. However, the one that is building up a lot of interest and consuming a ton of Hypixel content creators is a 1.19.2 server known as MCC Islands, or MCCI. This server is still in a whitelist only system, yet tons of streamers have arguably switched over to 1.19 content to just play MCCI. While this is a huge contributing factor as to why less creators are making 1.8 Minecraft for content in the last few months, it's not really the main reason. The reason that 1.8 Minecraft content is at a complete standstill is for the most part because we're out. Everything has been done. Well, that doesn't really seem possible, and of course it isn't really the case. However, there's nothing new in the public eye for 1.8 content, and as a result, creators have nothing new to create content out of. You can only do so many Bed Wars keyboard and mouse sounds or Bed Wars commentaries, but what else is there? I mean, there's Bed Wars challenges, and at this point there's only so many you can do. For a while now, the Hypixel community has been complaining about a severe lack of updates, and now it's really taking its toll. The last major update that was added to Hypixel, to my knowledge, is Skywars. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this big Skywars update that happened semi-recently, which I hate to say was kind of pointless. The Skywars community was already dissipating, let's just state the facts, so there wasn't much that a few remaining major Skywars creators could make out of that update. And in the scene of YouTube, Skywars didn't really grow much of at all because of that update. Also, a lot of people just didn't like the update, and the last new minigame that got interest was their MCCI clone of Battle Box for 1.8, which they gave the name from like Munchie MC's game mode, Wool Wars, because of course that makes sense. And yeah, Wool Wars was cool for like maybe a week or so, or maybe a few weeks, but Hypixel just wasn't cutting it for 1.8 content creators. And what else really is there? I mean, Mindmen added SG rather recently, which created a new but kind of old source of content for a little bit, and that's great, but it could only do so much. 1.8 content just wasn't there, and people weren't able to create content. As a result, creators started adapting. A lot of creators started moving to 1.19, and of course there are the challenge videos things that's going on, which are doing pretty well right now, and there's a few big creators now that are doing and creating new 1.8 content, but just not that many, at least not as many as there used to be. I mentioned that this topic is especially interesting to me because I feel like I'd qualify myself as a 1.8 Minecraft YouTuber, as that is the type of content I post, but at the same time, I just didn't seem to notice this downward spiral occurring until I saw this tweet from Potato, and I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Now, I feel like for a lot of content creators, this challenge is such a big deal because their channels and success of their channels are heavily linked to servers such as Hypixel or Mindman, in which game modes that are there have already been explored content wise in every conceivable way. So for me, I think the fact that I make content on a server that's just a tad bit smaller than a server like Hypixel, I'm able to make content for my channel without having to worry about running out of ideas or repeating the same thing again and again and again to the point where it gets really boring. So I think unless Hypixel and Mindman step up their game, or new servers start to gain some attention, especially ones with like unique game modes, which there are no shortage of servers like that, then I think 1.8 Minecraft on YouTube is heading into a downward spiral, as it already is. I think this is definitely an interesting thing to think about, because definitely I think the YouTube community for 1.8 Minecraft can change, and in a matter of time it could go one of two ways. It could either switch to a lot more 1.19 content, or maybe the 1.8 community has a new means of growing that just isn't there yet, and who knows, maybe that'll happen. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you guys want to see more commentary type videos like this. But on that note, see you guys next time.